Welcome to the demonstration video made by Airbus CyberSecurity about the SeCoIIA project. SeCoIIA aims at securing digital transition of manufacturing industry towards more connected, collaborative, flexible and automated production techniques. It fosters user-driven application cases from aeronautics, automotive, naval and robotic sectors. For this presentation, a focus will be done on the aerospace use cases, and particularly in two models that are existing in the Airbus Spain factories. Initially, the technicians had to shave the rivets of the rudders manually. It took a lot of energy and time for a very repetitive action. This specific action can be automated by robots to let technicians doing other actions with more added value. That's how RoboShave was born. This 7-axis robot is dedicated to shave rivets on rudders in an automatic way and autonomously. The main components are the shaving tool, and the sensor to be sure that all shaved rivets meet the required compliancy. In another part of the assembly line, some other technicians have the responsibility to verify some parts of the plane with a specific industrial tool called gap gun. Initially, the data had to be raised manually to the corporate area. With the merging of IT and OT environments, Airbus Spain decided to connect their industries to a common area to aggregate the data, to transform them into business opportunities. Thanks to this interconnection, the results of the gap gun can be automatically raised into the corporative network. It is also possible to push information into these devices, for update purpose for example. Because all industries are involved in this global grouping strategy, this interconnection is also available for RoboShave to get the data in a real-time way. In this project, in order to reach the main goal of building the factory of the future, Airbus decided to create digital twins of the existing models. It means a digitized copy of the physical factory with the same systems inside. This solution can have multiple advantages: the possibility to train people, doing cyber and pre-production tests, or process demonstrations of specific events for awareness. Another one is the availability provided, because the physical twin can be busy for any reasons like production or maintenance operations. Finally, the possibility to restore the environment at any time, and without safety and cost consequences, creates a great flexibility for all actors working close or far of the system. In order to build these digital twins, the integrators used a tool called Airbus CyberSecurity. It is an advanced simulation platform that can be used to model IT and OT systems composed of various types of machines. It also has the ability to apply realistic scenarios, like replay existing cyber attacks available in the wild, or play specific built-in ones for the concerned topology. Every operation is done in isolated work zones. Let's go further in the presentation of the simulated models. The RoboShave digital twin provides the possibility to show in real time the current position of the robot in its workspace. It is also the case for the HMI normally used by real operators. On this view, we can see the technician launching a shaving process by selecting rivets. Afterwards, the test coupon process is launched to test the tool and the sensor of the robot. This is possible by a communication between components like on the physical twin. The results of this operation can be simulated to trigger specific events like failure of the scanner, or the success of the shaving tool. The process is now started for hours like the real one. Thanks to the simulation, it is also possible to manipulate the output again. For this example, everything turned out fine. The second model is based on the gap gun tool. It is dedicated to scan complex shapes with high precision for industrial usages. On the physical twin, The tools are interconnected to a corporative network to raise industrial data and convert them into business data. It's also possible to launch different services, like getting the current connected gap gun on the industrial network, in a remote way. Another service available is listing the works orders of a gap gun. A works order is a plan built by specific technicians to provide an easy use of the tool for on-site operators. Every scan will be saved and compared with tolerance values to determine if the piece is compliant or not. It is also possible to load a works order into the virtualized gap gun. To do that, the software from the manufacturer is used. As an example, we will push the original works order from Airbus into the gap gun. To verify if this operation succeeds, a new listing action is performed. To finish the test, we perform a delete operation to suppress this works order just uploaded, and verify it by listing the works orders again. After a research phase of how to build the different systems according to simulation constraints, some attacks have been implemented, endemic to these specific environments. The first attack is called Crazy Robot, and consists by launching illegitimate requests to the robot by manipulating all components on the network. For this attack, everything is already configured in the cyber range, and the attacker just needs to launch the operation on the menu. From now, everything you see on the HMI is done by the attack without human manipulation. Imagine seeing the operator panel moving by itself on the real shop floor. It would be a surprising event. The attacker can use this attack for multiple purposes, like disrupt a current shaving process, trigger an operation when a technician is in the dangerous zone, or degrade the components. To perform this attack, it is needed to have specific knowledges related to ICS environments, and particularly in OT protocols. This type of attack is often associated with state or competitor in the same market. These visible attacks are done after weeks, months, even years of being stealth in the company's networks to gather the maximum of data, and then to establish a strategy to reach the main goal of this specific threat group. In order to protect the industrial process, it is necessary to have means deployed to detect, assign, and answer against all threats. The other attack available on this demonstration is called Fish and Steal. It is decomposed in multiple parts. The first one is sending an email with a corporate shape to persuade the user to follow the instructions inside, so launching malicious executable. This targeted attack is called spear phishing. This is one example of how an attacker can reach internal users and create a first entry point. This can also be done by using social engineering or even exploiting vulnerabilities on specific devices. During the time that the user launched the malicious file, the attacker is waiting and so receiving the reverse shell connection. From this moment, attacker can do what he wants. On this step, the attacker push a tool on the victim's machine to extract all saved credentials on the disk and on the memory. We can see the saved credentials on Chrome to connect on the corporative interface, ThingWorx. The second step consists by using these stolen credentials to interact with ThingWorx, and so launching illegitimate commands. On the script used, we can see the attacker listing the different configurations available on ThingWorx, and specifically the ones used by Airbus. By crossing the things with the Airbus project, we identify the specific configurations for RoboShave and Gap Gun. The attacker can do what he wants with them. The simulated models are integrated, and the attacks are ready to use just by using the Cyber Range interface. The Collaborative Security Operations Center is able to be linked to the environments for detection and qualification purposes. In this part, we show how a spear phishing attack is detected and treated inside the collaborative SOC. An alert is triggered in the Security Information and Event Management System or SIEM. For the collaborative SOC, we are using Splunk as our SIEM. These alerts show the data coming from the email presented on the attack part before. When the file is detected in the network, the SIEM starts correlating information via the unique file UID and connection UID data, imported from syslog. When a piece of data cataloged as executable is found on the MIME type, it is scanned for malware. All the coming steps after detecting such an attack are meant to protect the industrial network. The collaborative and the local SOC interact and can trigger automated sequences to stop the spread of malware, and also alert all the analysts from the community to take preventive actions. For forensics or further malware analysis, a copy of the extracted files are stored locally and on a network share at the Security Incident Response Platform, the Hive. When an event is triggered, an action in the Hive is performed. A case template with the name email with executable file attachment detected is created. Indicators of compromise are automatically populated for this event. We can see the mail subject, the content, the hash of the infected file, the user agent, the name of the host attacking the network, among others. We can tag as favorite the IOC that are most relevant to share with the community. We launch the analyzer and select the one most suitable for this kind of attack. A malware analysis report is shown for the case. The analyst can even get a raw view of the report data. This report shows enriched data, containing for example the confidence of the detection at a 100%, and much more information related to MITRE techniques and tactics. The taxonomy selected for the community is key here, as it enables the standardization required for data sharing. The results from the malware analysis are now imported as observables to the case. In these examples, the related MITRE information and used domains are imported from the analysis report. Here, you can see the problem of managing different data types. The original file name is interpreted as a domain name. Therefore, it needs to be selected manually during the import. We are now selecting what flags, or IOCs, should be shared, and we add tags to the data being shared, in order to make it more easily searchable and managed by the community. Before sharing, the information is enriched by the observable analyzer called Cortex, and exported to the local threat intelligence and sharing platform, called MISP. Being MISP a project co-financed by the European Union, we chose it to build our collaboration capabilities. It allows not only to work with indicators of compromise, but also provides metadata tagging, feeds, visualization, and even allows integration with other tools for further analysis, thanks to its open protocols and data formats. We then go to the MISP, check the events, and choose what data we are sharing, and with which organizations. We can also select to share with the whole community, so all connected MISP instances. Finally, we can add a description of the information for discussion with all analysts. We can edit an event on MISP before distribution to either one community, connected communities only, or all communities. Each event can be enriched with additional information, correlated with previous events, marked as an output for following remediation actions, and added to the intrusion and detection system, or next generation firewall. When data are shared, we can have a graphical view of the SOCs that we are sharing the information with. The central SOC can publish indicators of compromise even further, and share them with the rest of the community. Finally, when the event has been published by the central SOC, It can be assigned to an analyst within each local SOC. This presentation provides evidences of progress beyond the state-of-the-art of using digital twins in the manufacturing environment, enhancing resilience and improving the overall security posture of the manufacturing industry. In Airbus Cyber Range environment, a realistic simulation has been built. Also, besides the digital twin implementations, different attacks were integrated to show the risks related to industrial cybersecurity. Also, a collaborative security operations center was created and allows multiple cyber actors to handle the detected attacks to multiple services and tools with specific area of expertise for each. The world of industrial control systems is evolving, and all of these presented elements are participating to render the industry of the future in a concrete usage to improve security and safety in the production environments. To go further, these solutions need to be integrated in the factories with the close collaboration of on-site teams, with awareness, skill transfers, and communication. Thank you for your attention.